Welcome back to a new session, to a fresh session of second PUC biology. In this session, we are going to start with a new chapter which deals with microbes in human welfare. Now, in this topic, as we are talking about microbes in human welfare, there are various different types of microscopic organisms that play a beneficial role to mankind. And these microbes, they are the microscopic organisms that will include bacteria, fungus, other type of organisms like protozoans also, where we are going to use them in our day-to-day life. These microbes, they will help to form certain food products, certain industrial products, certain drugs also. So that's why we are using these microbes for the benefit of man. Okay, so under the heading called as a microbes in human welfare. Okay, now in this topic we are going to study the first part where it deals with the microbes in household products, where we use them in our day-to-day life. We also call them as microbes in our kitchens. Then apart from that, microbes in industrial products, where we are using these microorganisms in the industries to produce a large amount of products. Then apart from this, microbes used in STPs, sewage treatment plants, how the sewage water has to be cleaned. Then apart from this, we also use the microbes in production of biogas, where we also call it as a gobar gas. Then how the microbes are used to control various different types of pathogens. So microbes as biocontrol agents of pests, and finally microbes as biofertilizers. So this is the major content of the chapter. Now with this, let's start with the first heading of the topic, where we also call it as a microbes in household products. Okay, now as we come across the heading microbes in household products, now we use them in our day-to-day life. Let's start with the first product from our kitchen only. The first product that we are going to discuss is regarding the curd. The question comes, as we know, curd is produced from a raw material. Which is the raw material? Yes, it is the milk. To this milk, what we are going to add? We are going to add a part of curd. To the milk, we are going to add a part of the curd. That means the milk has to be converted into curd with the help of a microorganism, as you are very familiar with that microorganism, which is called as a lactobacillus, where we also call it as a lactic acid bacteria also. Okay, so curd, it is formed from lactic acid bacteria. In short, we call it as a LAB. What do we call it as? LAB, jalebi alla, LAB and karitive. Now, as curd is formed from the lactic acid bacteria, also called as the lactobacillus, but we are taking this name according to your NCERT. Okay. Now, this LAB, what exactly it will do? It brings about a coagulation of the milk. Okay, so milk, as it is a fluidic, as it is thin, it brings about a coagulation. That means it becomes a little bit hardened and forms the good quality of curd. Then is there any beneficial use of this curd to the human body? Yes, there is. That means one, from the curd, what the benefit we are going to get is it provides vitamin B12 to our body. So curd, it provides vitamin B12 to our body. This vitamin B12 is necessary for the normal functioning of our neurons. To keep our neurons healthy, we require curd. That means curd is good for health. The best quality of the curd is very tasty. Okay. Then apart from this, the other beneficial role of the curd is it also checks disease causing pathogens in our gut. So it also checks the disease causing pathogens. Okay, let us take in the gut region. Okay, now we have these two beneficial role. One is it provides vitamin B12. The second beneficial role is it checks the disease causing pathogens in our gut. That means if any other pathogens are there which are present in our gut region, they are eliminated, they are killed by this lactic acid bacteria. Okay. So this is regarding the first product that we are going to discuss regarding the microbes in the household products. So the first product. Okay. Let's go to the second one. The second one is bread. Okay, as we know, bread is mainly made in the bakery industries, and you are very familiar with this also, as this bread almost most of the early morning tiffins will start with a bread and tea, bread and butter, or bread and jam. Okay. Now this bread, how exactly it is produced? Now mainly it is produced by which organism? By a fungus. It is a fungal derivative, where we also call it as a baker's yeast. The yeast that is used to produce the bread in the bakery industries, we call them as baker's yeast. Now this baker's yeast, it is having a scientific name called as Saccharomyces cerevisiae. This is a scientific name of the yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay, remember the name also, which is most important here. Now bread is produced from the baker's yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Now what exactly it will do? When the wheat flour is taken, when it is kneaded, then to this we add yeast. This yeast, it undergoes the process of fermentation, where it will release carbon dioxide. As a result, there is a puffed up appearance. Puffing up appearance will be there. Then after this, when it is baked, then we find holes. It is due to the release of carbon dioxide also. That's why bread, when it is produced, it is a spongy. Okay. That means bread that we use in our daily life is produced from the baker's yeast, and the name of the yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. What has to be written? So in this chapter, what is most important? Now first one is the product, second one is the microbe. As the title says, microbes in human welfare, you have to remember the name of the microbes. They are very simple, because we have very few products here. Okay. So you need to remember this. Then third one, idli and dosa. Okay, now look at this. Almost the food products that we are discussing today, some of you might have consumed the same products also, okay, in the kitchens. Now here idli and dosa, as you know how idli and dosa are prepared. Go to hotel, order it, that's it. Okay, no, not like that. How they are preparing, or how do we prepare in our homes? Okay, again you are very familiar with this. Now here what we are taking the rice, along with that we are taking the black grams, then this is grinded, then it is kept in a vessel overnight. There are certain bacteria where we call them as Okay, let us discuss regarding the third one, the third one is idli and dosa. Okay, let us see the third food product. The third food product is idli as well as dosa. So how to prepare idli and dosa? Go to hotel, just order it, you will get the things. Okay. Even they have to undergo the proper recipe to prepare a good quality of idli as well as dosa. Okay. Now in case of this, in the preparation of idli and dosa, what we are going to do? We are taking rice, then black gram, it is grinded. After grinding, it is kept overnight. Then there is a puffed up appearance of the dough. When there is puffing up, it is due to release of carbon dioxide by the process of fermentation, where the microbes are present naturally in the vessel. So there is a puffing up appearance. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಉಕ್ಕು ಬರೋದು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Where in the vessel, when you keep it for overnight, immediately grinding ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು we cannot prepare idli and dosa, otherwise they will become very hard. Now after proper fermentation, when you prepare good quality of idli and dosa produced from naturally occurring bacteria, there is a spongy puffiness, softness that we see in the idli also, that we see in the dosa also. And these idlis, when you eat it, they will be very soft and good in taste. Then how about the dosa? In the dosa we find holes. These holes are due to release of carbon dioxide. It is due to the release of carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide, when it is released, we find these holes. Okay. And in the idli also we find it, but they are very minute. Okay, if you observe it carefully, you will come to know it is due to release of carbon dioxide only. That's why they are very spongy. Okay. Then these dosa, when we eat it, either they might be soft, they might be crunchy, or they might be crispy. So based on your taste, you can have your food. Okay. So this is regarding the third food product, where we call it as a idli as well as a dosa. Let's go to the fourth one. Fourth one is a toddy. Now toddy, it is the fermented sap of palm plant, which is used as traditional drink. It is a fermented sap of the palm plant, which is used as traditional drink, and mainly it is produced by naturally occurring yeast. There are various different types of yeast which occur in the nature naturally. Along with the yeast, other bacteria are also there. They are going to produce this. Now what exactly is toddy? It is a fermented sap. Sap is a fluid of a palm plant. ಸಿಂಧಿ ಗಿಡದ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಿಂಧಿ ಗಿಡದಿಂದ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡೋದೇನು, ಸರಾಯಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, a white color fluid which is produced from the plant. Now how it is produced? Now to these plants, a pot is taken, it is tied to the plant is injured, the fluid will exudate, the fluid will come out, it is collected drop by drop in that pot. ಆ ಪಾಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಪಾಟ್ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇಡ್ತೀವಿ. Naturally occurring bacteria along with the yeast will be there, they undergo the process of fermentation. From that fermentation, the product that is produced, the fluid that is produced is called as toddy, and that toddy, it was earlier used as a drink, a fermentation product, but now we have many different alcoholic products that are produced by the industries, but it was used earlier, that's why we call it as a traditional drink. ಮೊದಲು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಈಗೂ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಭಾಗ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಮೋರ್. ಓಕೆ, while compared to earlier. Let's go to the next one. The fifth one is Swiss cheese. Okay, now in the cheese there are around 2000 different varieties of cheese that are present worldwide, throughout the world, throughout the globe. Now they are mainly produced from the milk. They are milk products only, where these cheese are used in our day to day life. Now this Swiss cheese is produced from a bacteria, and the name of the bacteria is a Propionibacterium shermani. It is produced from a bacteria called as a Propionibacterium shermani. And the speciality of the Swiss cheese is there are large holes in the Swiss cheese, and this large holes is due to release of a large amount of carbon dioxide. Now the large holes in Swiss cheese is due to release of large amount of carbon dioxide. Now this is an objective question which will be asked also, as name the microbe from which Swiss cheese is produced, or large holes in Swiss cheese is due to release of what? It is due to release of large amount of carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide is released in large amount, then ultimately what happens? We find larger holes in the Swiss cheese. Okay, so this is regarding about the food product. One more food product called as Swiss cheese. Then apart from this, we have one more type of cheese where we call it as a Roquefort cheese. One more type, it is Roquefort cheese. Now Roquefort cheese, again it is different variety. Now as we are talking about these cheese, different types of cheese, what exactly it is? It is a milk product from which we are going to produce the flavor, the taste, the texture, the color, as we add the ingredients. ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದಕ್ಕೆ add ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Either you can make it as sweet, you can make it as spicy, based on your taste, whichever you want. Okay, prepare it. If you want a little bit sorry also, you can make it also, right? So that's why based on the different taste, texture, and it will be very good in taste also. Okay, now this Roquefort cheese is produced from Penicillium roqueforti. Penicillium roqueforti, and remember this is a fungal derivative. Penicillium roqueforti is a fungus from which we are going to produce the Roquefort cheese. Okay. Now Swiss cheese is produced by a bacteria, while Roquefort cheese is produced by a fungus. That means there are different types of cheese. Raw cheese is there, ripened cheese is also there. Okay, then different again varieties based on the ingredients that we are going to use, based on the microbes that are going to use. Okay. Now apart from this, even there are certain other food products also, like soybean, bamboo, as well as other food products also that can be produced from the plants, and even some food products that is produced from the animals also. Especially the soybean, it is widely used in China as well as Japan. Now Chinese have not left any organism. Okay, they consume everything as in the form of food also, as you are very familiar with that. Now this soybean, the different names that are used in China as well as in Japan, they are named as sofu and tofu. Sofu is the name which is used in China, and tofu in Japan. Okay, they prepare the food products, and even we also use this soybean as a form of food, and they undergo the process of fermentation. Look at this, naturally occurring microbes are there. With the help of these microbes, we are going to produce certain food products by the process of fermentation only. Okay. Then even the bamboo shoots are taken, they are allowed for fermentation process with the help of the microbes, and even from that the bamboo foods are also produced. So that's why they are of a lesser known value, rest of these you know. So this is regarding the part of microbes in household products. Now in the microbes in household products, what all the products that we have here? The first one is curd, where it is produced from LAB. The second one, the second food product that you are studied is bread, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. The third product that you have studied is idli and dosa, produced from bacteria. Fourth one is toddy, produced from naturally occurring yeast. It is a fermented sap. Then fifth one is Swiss cheese, produced from the bacteria Propionibacterium shermani. It was produced by Indian scientist. His name is Sherman. Okay, the name comes from his name only. Then Roquefort cheese, produced from Penicillium roqueforti. Then apart from this, even other food products produced from various different types of foodstuffs. Okay. So this completes the first part, microbes in household products. The second part is regarding the industries part, where we are going to discuss regarding the production of the alcohol, antibiotics, then chemicals, enzymes, as well as other bioactive molecules. So just make down the points, make the points here. So whatever we are writing, just go on noting all these things, and finally when we give the assignment, write all the assignments properly and send it on timely. Then later on, work depends on you. Use the best use of time. Now the thing is, how you study, what you study, how you utilize your valuable time, it matters for you. Okay, now as you are in the home, you should be very cautious, you should be very serious about all these things. Okay, so that's why make the best use of the classes, make proper notes, don't see the videos in the form of a film. On the movie ತರ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಂಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ಬರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, write something. Okay, if you don't write, listening and observing is of no use. Whether you are listening properly matters a lot. So that's why listen all the videos carefully, understand them properly, and if you have any doubts, we have our chat box in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so you can ask your doubts there, you can clarify your doubts there. So with this, let's end up the session today. Then let's join with the next class in the next day. Thank you.